For more of those GDP numbers, I'm now joined by Isaah Mhlanga. He's Executive Chief Economist at Alexander Forbes Investments. Thanks for your time on SABC News. So just above National Treasury's expectation, 0.8% growth. Is this anything to celebrate?
Nothing really to celebrate. 0.8, 0.7 at a macro level is still the same number. But I think what is encouraging is at least we're still in positive territory. Yes, we have seen a moderation from third quarter of 2.6%. However, if you look at fixed investment, which is supposed to push economic growth going forward into a more positive direction, it contracted for 4 consecutive quarters. And obviously, for obvious reasons that we know over the past 10 years, the deterioration in terms of our institutional strength, but also the corruption and the falling in business confidence, which is what we hope the drive that have been pushed by government over the past couple of months should be able to boost that confidence and eventually a fixed investment that should improve growth.
That confidence seems to be an ever-moving target, because President Cyril Ramaphosa said last year at the investment summit, there's no investment strike. If there was an investment strike, it's over and people are bringing their money back. But that's not being shown in those numbers. No,
not yet. Obviously, the investment summit was in October. We were already in fourth quarter at that point in time. And to undo the damage to the economy is not going to be done overnight. It takes some time for business to plan for the investments, but they need to see certainty in terms of the policies that are going to be implemented. One of the issues which they're still waiting for is what sort of majority does he get in terms of the elections on the 8th of May, which is going to determine how drastic the reforms are going to be and how business-friendly the environment is going to be. What is the sort of certainty that we are going to get with regard to the land reform process. So all those factors, they are still on a wait and see until elections are done. So you are unlikely to see significant amount of investment until then. So we should expect growth to pick up only in second half of the year going forward.
Okay. So the finance, real estate and business services industries increased by 1.8% during the year. Is that heartening news? Is that some green shoots, or is that not enough?
Not really green shoots. For an economy that needs to grow by at least 2.5% to stabilize the debt-to-GDP ratio, 0.8% is really pathetic. I think we really need a strong growth for us to be able to reduce unemployment, for instance, because if you look at our population growth, it's much higher than what we have in terms of economic growth. And as long as the economy continues to grow slower than population growth, we will continue to see increasing unemployment.
Okay, a sector that's in recession is the construction sector, seeing, I think Nompumelelo is saying, its worst result in about 20 years. You'd expect that that would also be something that would show the results of people saying, come and invest in South Africa, and the measures that are being put in place to encourage business to come in.
By and large, the construction sector is led by government because it has a significant infrastructure investment need in the rest of the economy. But given the fiscal consolidation that we were undertaking over the past couple of years, but also the constraints in terms of the tax revenues that are used to invest in infrastructure, government is not in a position to invest. That's why you see this recession in the construction sector. Only if we are able to encourage the private sector to come and invest in infrastructure directly, which is what we see if you look at renewable energy projects, but also we need this to be in roads, we need this to be in rail. Until such time, construction will continue to battle. So we need the fiscals to be controlled and to de-risk the economy from the likes of ESCOM and other SOEs in terms of guarantees. Once those risks have been reduced, then you are likely to see private sector investment coming in.
The mining sector is also in recession. Talk to us about the issues that are also affecting that. I know it's some of similar ones to the ones that you've just touched on, but there's other dynamics as well. Yeah,
obviously there are other dynamics. We had strikes at one of the gold mining companies, which is where the contraction was led from. It was in gold. If you look at other metals, such as platinum, they performed relatively okay. But obviously this was in part explained the miscommunication or the changing of the mining charter. We understand now it has been finalized with both private sector, business and labor. They have some form of a consensus and a mining charter which they all agree on, which is why we now also have an investment in Northern Cape in terms of the zinc mining company, which has invested about $1.5 billion. And we are likely to see improvement going forward. But obviously, China's economic fortunes will matter quite a lot for commodities as a whole. But given that they've also reduced their economic growth expectations to 6%, it will have ramifications for commodities and commodities prices in general.
Thanks so much for your time on SABC News. Isaah Mhlanga from Alexander Forbes joining me in studio there. It's time for a short break. I'll have more news for you when we come back. Do stay.